The pressure on Iran entered a silent and dangerous phase this Thursday, April 9, 2026. The crisis now centers on more than just missiles, drones, or explosions. What has gained strength now is the possibility that Dubai may stop being the route that helped Tehran breathe financially. While the two-week truce between Iran and the United States is already falling apart, the Strait of Hormuz remains almost blocked, and the Emirates have become a decisive piece in this new stage. What happened in practice? After almost 6 weeks of war that began on February 28, Iran is badly hurt, but still has enough strength to put pressure on Hormuz. Who is at the center of this? The Iranian government, the Emirates, the United States, and the Pakistani mediators. How? With Tehran trying to turn the maritime route into an instrument. An instrument of pressure, while the Emirates are considering hitting the most sensitive part of the regime, the money and the commercial network that goes through Dubai. Why? Because the confrontation has moved from the purely military field to the realm of economic survival. The central point of this issue is simple. Dubai, for many years, has served as an exit gateway for Iran, offering trade, logistics, and financial channels when sanctions tightened. This is the central line of the headline. And that's what gives meaning to the current conflict. If this door really closes, the regime loses oxygen. This reasoning didn't come out of nowhere. The United States Treasury has already described in recent actions how Iranian networks use shell companies in the Emirates, accounts outside Iran, currency exchange houses, and false documentation to move oil revenues and finance the Iranian military apparatus. In 2020, Washington once again talked about the so-called parallel banking system of the regime, pointing out operators who laundered billions through front companies and structures outside Iran. In other words, Dubai was not just a geographical neighbor, it was a financial mechanism. Now comes a move that really scares Tehran. Reuters reported that the Emirates are considering freezing billions of dollars in assets linked to Iran, in an amount that could reach $50 billion. It's not a technical detail, it's the threat of cutting off the shortcut through which currency, payments, trade cover, and part of the network that kept the regime standing despite the sanctions circulated. In simple terms, it wouldn't be an armed attack, it would be a financial squeeze with the potential to hurt more and last longer. This weighs even more because Hormuz remains choked. The flow has dropped to less than 10% of normal. The head of ADNOC said that the strait is in practice closed and 230 loaded ships remain stranded. Iran still wants to impose conditions for passage and even went so far as to limit daily transit. As a result, about 20% of the world's oil remains stuck in the planet's most sensitive bottleneck, which keeps the market nervous and increases pressure on the entire region. This is already affecting people's wallets and national strategies in the real world. For the Emirates, remaining as open as before after attacks and blockades would mean continuing to fuel the problem. For Iran, losing Dubai would mean losing time, access, hard currency, and trust, precisely when the economy needs it most. The truce, therefore, did not solve the problem. It only changed the shape of the conflict. What seemed like a ceasefire turned into a struggle for leverage. On one side, Iran tries to turn Hormuz into a tool for applying pressure. On the other side, the Emirates are considering using Dubai as a financial choke point. That's the most important news right now. The battlefield remains in the Gulf, but the most decisive move may come from the banks, free zones, insurers, and the authorities who control trade. That's why the main point is straightforward. Dubai has entered the war without needing to launch a new attack. It entered when it began to threaten Tehran's financial lifeline. If this pressure increases, Iran may continue with tough rhetoric, may try to gain strength in Hormuz, and may prolong the tension, but it will do so with less room to breathe. That's when the title makes sense. What perhaps even the United States government did not anticipate so clearly is that one of the heaviest weapons against Tehran right now would not come from a bombing, but from the closure of the route that for years helped the regime survive.